So CoffeeZilla just released this video on the entire FTX influencer lawsuit situation going on, and Kevin actually appeared on his channel to sort of defend himself against the allegations being made in the lawsuit against him and all of his little creators agency buddies. And let me tell you, he gave one of the dumbest answers I've ever seen in an appearance ever on YouTube when CoffeeZilla asked him if he thinks that he's at fault for people losing money in FTX, which he promoted on his channel. Folks, take a listen.
You're being sued along with several others for the promotion of FTX. Do you think you should be liable? What are your thoughts?
The entire YouTube finance community has really gotten hit basically with egg on the face, so to speak, because of the association with somebody who ended up being a terrible fraud. And it's miserable. The way I compare it is I was a real estate broker for quite a while, still am a real estate broker, and oftentimes clients ask us for vendor recommendations. Hey, who's a good electrician? Who's a good plumber? And I've had this before where 98% of the time the electrician you recommend is great, and then one time something goes wrong, and that stuff happens.
See, it's just crazy because this guy refuses to take any accountability. See, he happily sells a $600 course and takes credit whenever people in his comments say that he helped them make money. But when it gets reversed and now the pitchforks are coming after him, well, now all of a sudden it's your fault for following him. See, the guy wants to have his cake and eat it too. So in other words, when you make money from his financial advice and recommendations, he'll say it's because of him. He's the reason why you made all that money. And he'll happily take credit for that. But then when you don't make money and you actually lose all of your money because of this guy's recommendations, well, now all of a sudden it's not his fault. It's your fault for losing money based off of his recommendations. Somebody please make that make sense. And then on top of that, in Coffee's video, when he asked Kevin if he's liable, Kevin actually proceeded to bring up some weird, bogus scenario about how this situation is just like if he were a realtor and recommended a bad electrician to someone, which, by the way, isn't the same as this FTX situation at all, and it's just plain old stupid. Recommending a bad electrician is not the same as recommending a scummy crypto product that turned out to be a scam. Because you guys recommended and promoted FTX to your fans, there are potentially people out there who lost all of their money because of your recommendation / paid promotion. Recommending a scam causes severe financial harm and emotional damage to the person who invests in it because they lost large sums of money listening to you because you're supposed to be the financial expert. That's what you guys brand yourselves as. So that's not the same as someone recommending skilled labor that does a bad job. People don't lose all of their money because a freaking realtor recommended an electrician that did a bad job. This is one of the dumbest comparisons I've ever heard in my life. This is why you're being sued. Now, Kevin also tried to blame the individuals themselves who followed these influencers for losing all of their money, and CoffeeZilla absolutely owned him on this.
Ultimately, you take that risk, so it is incumbent upon the individual to take responsibility as well. Yes, a doctor can refer you, hey, maybe this medicine will work.
But the individuals aren't the experts. That's the whole problem, is they rely on experts to help them make this decision. They don't have the luxury of spending all day looking at finance and stuff like this. So they rely on people to make their decisions for better or worse. And then when things go wrong, ultimately people are going to look to the experts in the room and say, hey, what happened? And if the answer is, well, we just didn't do enough due diligence, sorry, that's kind of a problem. So I think that's where their questions about like giving back all the money come from.
So CoffeeZilla is absolutely right. You can't come on the internet and brand yourself as a financial expert and sell courses and buy and sell alerts. And then when things don't work out in your favor, your response to that is, oh, I'm sorry, guys, we just didn't do enough due diligence. You're supposed to be the finance expert. Now, here's what's interesting. Any of you guys notice that almost none of the reputable finance channels ever promoted FTX? The Plain Bagel, Patrick Boyle, In the Money Adam, the Investor Channel. You guys notice that none of those guys took a penny from FTX nor promoted it on their channels. I wonder why. Maybe that right there is a pretty good indicator on who the real financial experts are on YouTube versus the frauds. So when people come and they tell you that, oh, nobody could have seen this coming, how could we have known? Well, clearly some people in YouTube finance were smart enough to know that it'd probably be wise to not accept the sponsorship. And that's why people like the Plain Bagel, Patrick Boyle, the Investor Channel, that's why some of the more reputable finance channels didn't accept that sponsorship, because they were smart enough as real finance experts, not frauds, to probably at least have an idea that this probably isn't the best product to promote on their channels. But there's also this thing called integrity that comes with that, which a lot of these frauds on YouTube don't have either. Okay, the last thing I want to leave you all with is this clip from when me, Kevin, actually came on my channel back in July of 2022, because you see, me, Kevin, was actually asked about the FTX sponsorship during this debate, and he told me straight to my face that he basically saw all the red flags, but he still promoted this stuff anyway. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and take a listen.
So when I saw this, like when we're like, oh wow, FTX is drying up. Well, that's not a surprise. That shit wasn't converting anyway. It was stupid of them to spend the money they were. Like we were literally in the office like, how do they have so much money to spend on sponsoring us when they don't even convert that well? And I talked to my team and they're like, we don't know, but FTX says they just have a lot of money that they have to spend. And I'm like, this is stupid. This is a bubble. Whatever. We'll put them in a bunch of videos because they're not a bad platform, but they're wasting their damn money. So we saw the writing on the wall. I don't sponsor stuff that I think is stupid or bad for the consumer. I don't think FTX is bad for the consumer. And so I get crypto CEOs on. I was proud about, dude, I had to fight to get the BlockFi CEO on. And that doesn't mean like I am perfect, because obviously I had the BlockFi CEO on, and in my BlockFi CEO interview and my Voyager Digital interview, you can like, if you really watch those interviews, you're like, Kevin's a little sussed out. Yet I still ended up investing money into BlockFi. I feel like such a dumbass, dude. I feel so stupid because I'm like, I called the red flags and I still invested money.
And the last thing I do want to say is, it's just so funny how the universe works, isn't it, guys? Because for those who don't know, about 6, 7, 8 months ago, back in July 2022, me, Kevin, actually threatened to sue me numerous times and actually tried to bully me into silence. And he also put in several like copyright claims and privacy strikes with YouTube to get my videos taken down. He really tried to bully me back then with this whole lawsuit stuff. And it's just so funny how the universe works and how he's finally getting his karma, because who would have thought that 6, 7, 8 months after that incident where he threatened to sue me, who would have thought that later on he'd end up being caught up in a $1 billion class action lawsuit? Telling you, man, the chickens always come home to roost eventually. And what you, me, Kevin, and all your little spooky alien creators agencies buddies are getting is karma. You are paying for what you did. And even if you don't lose the lawsuit, you still gonna pay up, because those lawyer fees ain't cheap. And yes, I know he has insurance, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Doesn't matter. We don't know how long this case is going to drag on. I don't know what his aggregate limit is, but this case is going to drag on. And either way, even if he has media insurance, not everybody in this case got media insurance. So somebody going to pay one way or another. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one.